Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review episode number 211. This one reviewing the 211th episode for the series, The Chase. This does that from the manga, this episode. Mostly the last, minute of the episode does. It's, pretty much like the last 2 pages of the chapter. The series, I forgot to mention this last week. Boruto didn't appear in last week's episode. Nope, he didn't. I'm thinking, that's kind of weird. He is a title character, and yet he's absent from an episode, which is kind of interesting. I've watched every episode of the series. Even if he doesn't appear the whole episode, at least he appears, at least makes an appearance. Just even if it's not focused on him, at least he makes an appearance. The past 2 episodes, he's been absent. Not really sure why. It's just kind of weird. At least next week it looks like, though, yes, Boruto is going to make an appearance. This week, no. No appearance by Boruto, which I'm thinking, that's a bit weird. Yes. Okay, the episode starts out with this mysterious man in a cloak, who looks very familiar, by the way, breaking into the archive to steal some data on Shinobi. And of course, basically, Team Udon. This is made up of Dinky, Medoli, and Iwambi. What are discussing it, and of course, this is the big talk basically that's going on to break it. So, Team Mogi decides to basically investigate this. Well, thanks to Chocho's instinct. She insists on investigating, so they investigate it. So, and here's some, just by pure coincidence, they just happen to do this. Okay. They just look around, and then they spot a mysterious building. Can I go hunt for this place? And then they go upstairs. And what's upstairs, mind you? Unless you've missed the last few episodes, this is the spot where Kasha Koji's been hiding there for the last several episodes. Yep, they find it. And in this little hideout, there's a box with a tablet in it, which has got blueprints. What is it to? They don't really go into it at all. It's like, this is not even where the missing data is. Heck, there's 2 scrolls lying on the ground. What are those for? No idea. Because they don't really do anything with them. It's like there is a background piece, despite the fact it's clearly on the floor of this particular place. And then Inojin just happens to spot somebody outside, and they confront the person, and it's Kakashi! Yes, Kakashi! And you might ask yourself, when was the last time he's appeared in the series? I think it's been some time since his last physical appearance in the series. Let's see. Let me look up and see exactly when the heck that was. Let's see. Because I kind of feel as though it's been a while since his last physical appearance in the series. Because that's a thing when it comes to Kakashi, because I don't think he's appeared in quite some time. You might think, okay, what about the canon stuff? No, he hasn't. And that's what is quite perplexing about this. You have Kakashi show up finally, make its first appearance in some time. Yeah, as far as I can, I'm trying to look up and see exactly when was his last physical appearance in the series, because it just seems as though that okay, it looks like that his last physical appearance in the series was at the start of the Owl arc. Yes. The episode that started off that arc in the anime was episode 178. And that was his last physical appearance to date in the series. That was roughly 33 episodes ago. Like, damn, that's a long time between appearances. 33. So, he returns as like 8 frickin' months. I mean, he did play a role in the car extradition, but just because Spoiler helping out Boruto. Yep. So he agrees. Basically, like they of course, Team Mogi shows around the hideout. Of course, verifies that they're them. So he basically just, why don't we just team up with each other? Basically, solve investigation. And they basically keep an eye on the hideout from a distance. They spot the man in the cloak, aka Kashikogen, and they follow him very quietly, mind you. And yet somehow he's able to avoid them. And then we have him, apparently he enters the sewer to avoid the crowd. Yes, the sewer. And figure, okay, all the exits are blocked. Where the heck do we go? The Thunder Train. Yep, the Thunder Train. They axed all out. Like, that's interesting. And then pretty much like, okay, so they actually have Shikadai and Inogen after thrown the train by Chocho. And they confront him. They're about to grab him, and then he disappears. It's a shadow clone. Yes, a shadow clone. And you're thinking, okay, what's going on with the shadow clones? Yes, good question. After the Thunder Train thing, and then we have Kashikogen show up at another archive. Looks like a much more older archive with scrolls. And he just happens to look for a particular scroll kept in the display case. It's like he's a thief. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then Kashikogen does something he does never do at all. He never did this in the manga at all, but he does it here in the anime. And if you're a fan of the fight scenes, like, if you're probably wondering, like, did this scene happen in the manga? Did Kashikogen fight this one character? Did he fight him at all the entire time he ever appeared in the manga? The answer is no. And who do you see him fight in this scene? Kakashi! Yes, Kakashi! And damn, this is a pretty good fight. This motherfucker's shirt it was pretty good. Heck, he pulls out some toads. Yes, I know who he really is under the mask. And of course, you would think that Kakashi, knowing somebody who uses toads, besides Naruto, the other person who would know how to use toads the way he does it is Jiraiya. But he doesn't put that together for some reason. And after the fight, and of course, like, they was protected. And then Shikadai, like, points out, though, that thanks to the data he stole. And this, of course, is a really good theory on the part of the anime. Like, if you're just anime original, if they watch the anime, the theory makes total sense, basically. And also given the fact what happens in manga. According to Shikadai's theory, the thief may have been a past shinobi from the village. And despite being well theory, it actually makes the most sense due to the fact that this thief didn't set up the sensor system they have across the village. And then we have Kashikogen returning to the hideout. Now, this last bit is from the manga, but they actually added some dialogue in. Like, for example, of course, you have Kashikogen, and the person he talks to is Armando. Yes, he does this in the manga too. This, of course, taken from chapter 43, which I'm so happy they included this. The one thing I'm not happy they decided not to include here is how he got out of the village. Because in the book, basically, in the manga, like, he actually topped one of the walls and fell backwards. In the anime, they don't really show him how he escapes from the village. Which, you would think they would show that, but they didn't. I don't really know why. And it mentions, time to and of course they talk, and, like, And of course, according to Kacha Kojin, this is basically a trip worthwhile. And then Amano says, time to put forward our true goal, taking down Jagan. Thus setting up next portion of this arc. Yep. This might be mostly an original episode. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But this I gotta point out though. Lucky enough, next week we're gonna have the return of Boruto. Though you might be asking, where the heck has Boruto been the past 2 episodes? I mean, to not make a physical appearance is weird to say the least. Now you might be asking, did Naruto ever pull this? Did he miss some episodes? When he's not trying to focus. Well, in the case of the original Naruto series, no, he appeared in every episode. He never missed an episode. Okay, but what about Shippuden? Let me think here about that. I don't think so. No, because they usually do have a brief cutaway to him. Even if he's not the focus of the episode, they do at least show him. Yeah, he at least appeared in all the episodes he was advertised to be in. Boruto, on the other hand, he has done this in the past, but mostly that was basically for a couple of story arcs. They did it basically, those were adapted story arcs, but not anime original episodes. That has never happened before. Yes, he did this for the Sada arc. He appeared for the first episode of the arc and the last episode of the arc. But at least made physical appearance. But in between, during the arc itself, he didn't necessarily make appearance because he was not part of the manga. He was not part of the story. So that was fine. It was kind of the same thing with this Team Ninja Scrolls when they had that for the anime. That was kind of the same thing too with that one, where he's there just for the opening bit, and that's it for him. So those two are the exception because they're adaptations of actual source material. But these are anime original episodes. Even though the second one did include a little bit of manga in this one. Mostly the ending. But at least in the case, of those were acceptable. These two, there is no reason why Boruto could not appear in these episodes. I mean, look at, let's say, Case Closed, for example. Can you think of an episode where Conan does not make a physical appearance? I mean, his love interest Rand does not appear in all the episodes, but at least he shows up occasionally. But Conan, who's the start of the series, he has appeared in every episode. Okay. You might be thinking, okay, what about someone like Ichigo from Bleach? Has he missed episodes? I think he missed 1 or 2 at most I can think of, but not 2 in a row. Okay, what about, let's say, One Piece, for example? As far as I know, I think Luffy missed 1 episode, I think, but that was during the Marineford arc. But he generally has appeared in all the episodes, from what I could tell. Yeah, and a lot of the time when they have in Wano, basically, some of the appearances are just anime original content because he did appear in those chapters. But at least made a physical appearance. But can you think of another series where you have 2 straight episodes where the main character is not seen or mentioned to make an appearance? And I'm not talking about stuff basically you could say that, can you think of any canon stuff, or at least something like an original, where the main character does not make a physical appearance? But at least next week he's going to show up because, they're going to start adapting source material from chapter 44. The stuff they didn't adapt for, I'd say the last bit of the chapter, and probably also going to go through chapter 45. That's probably what they're going to adapt for next week. I'm not sure. That's just my personal view anyways. Yep. But this episode, really good. Okay, so that's it for particular review. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I think I have roughly 1 video planned for tomorrow. Maybe 2. One video I'm hoping to do tomorrow will be a review for Super Sentai. I haven't done one in several days. But I'm hoping to do one tomorrow, okay? So next video. Bye.